Welcome to season 2 of the Voncast. I couldn't think of a better way to kick it off. And then with my guy, Stefon Diggs, 3-time Pro Bowler, him, my first repeat guest on the Voncast, Stefon Diggs. Appreciate you, my boy, for sure, man.
Thanks for having me on.
You was at Fashion Week last night. We just played on Monday. Yesterday was Tuesday.
Yeah, we was moving around last night. I had some moving parts. I went to actually a dinner, Caring for Women dinner by Caring Group. Yeah. Moving around, just trying to do the right stuff.
It's dope, man. Mr. International, man, all across the U.S. too, man. Monday Night Football, it didn't go as we planned. I felt like, I was talking to the guys in the facility today. I felt like even if of course you want to win, but I felt like even if we did win, we would still feel the same about that game. It didn't go as planned for us or anybody. Yeah. But the energy in the stadium was crazy. Right when, Aaron Rodgers had walked out with the flag and everybody cheered and the smoke and everything cleared, like it was a crazy environment, man. And then all of a sudden, it was like flat after he had got hurt. What was how did you feel about that? I know you play offense. You're not out there at the same time as Aaron Rodgers, but when that happened, how did you feel?
It was weird because even prior to the game, going into it, you kind of felt the energy. You felt everything going into it. It was exciting and kind of like of course, I don't know what it was. We kind of felt like the underdog, especially going in with Aaron Rodgers being at the helm over there. And not it being at a disadvantage of anything, but it was going to make the game real interesting. Yeah. But it was kind of weird also because last year we played them, they were a run-first team, and when you kind of added a quarterback in the mix, it kind of seemed like, okay, what are they going to do? They're going to run first, they're going to throw it around, so it kind of like added another element. Like, this game's going to be good, you know what I'm saying? Especially coming off of last year, the season opener, how exciting that was in L.A. Sure. So going in, another big city, it's kind of like a damn near like a little mini concert.
Yeah, it was. It felt. I mean, the atmosphere was crazy, man. And then it was flat when it went down. It's a lot of discussion about grass, artificial turf. I'm a big proponent of grass. Like, I don't even practice. I don't even like to practice on turf. Yeah. But this was the one situation that I feel like it didn't matter if it was grass or turf. The way. The position that he was in, he had Leonard Floyd on his waist, 250 pounds. Aaron Rodgers is already 39. He didn't play. He had limited reps, and then you put his ankle in that position. I think, I love grass. I'm a big proponent of grass. I feel like every stadium should be grass, but I feel like that particular injury, it didn't matter if it was grass or turf, that would have happened. I mean,
I feel like it's a double-edged sword. Like, we go into the game, it's a 100% injury rate game. Like, everybody knows that. It's distance of a memory. It is while we're playing. A couple years back, I know you can date it back. I think it was Minnesota versus Green Bay, and Aaron Rodgers hurt his shoulder. And I think sometime after that, a couple quarterbacks had got awkwardly hit, and they changed the rule to no landed on the quarterback. Because, in this league now, in this world we live in now, you want to see the offense scoring touchdowns. You want to see exciting things. You don't want to see everybody's favorite quarterbacks go down. You know what I'm saying? When he got hurt, it did get a little dry out there. You know what I'm saying? Not so much offensively, but you could just know, the ebbs and flows of the game. So it was kind of a little rough to see. And being a fan of football, of course, you want Aaron Rodgers out there. He's an opponent and all, but I love competition. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I don't got to go against him, but
I want to see A-Rod out there too, man. I wanted to see him out there too. NFL exec Jim Miller had a quote about the playing surfaces and the stats, saying that it's the same injury rate on grass and turf. And then the NFLPA executive Lloyd Howell had a different quote. This just happened like 25 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Saying that it's actually more injuries on artificial turf. I just feel like the game was founded on grass.
100%.
If you look at golf, right? If the PGA or the Live Tour said, "Hey, we're gonna change all the fields to AstroTurf so we can have concerts on the fairway."
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think everybody would be in uproar with that, and I think that's the same. I think that's the same exact thing that we're dealing with here now. You know, our game is founded on grass. You know, it's a football stadium. They come to see football players there. Yeah, they can have like concerts and stuff there, but they change it for soccer players when they come.
Yeah.
Soccer players, when they come over here and play, they never play on AstroTurf or artificial grass. They always wheel in natural grass for them to play in, and then they take it off when they leave.
I didn't know that.
We the ones in there. I mean, we the ones in there playing. So I feel like the game was founded on grass. So every stadium should be on grass.
It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a little bit of a shift too. Like now. That's a real significant injury last night with Aaron Rodgers. As big of
one of the biggest stars
in sports. So stuff like that causes for a change. But it's ironically, I'm not going to speak out of turn, but I can vividly remember multiple guys getting hurt in MetLife and on that specific turf and other guys kind of commenting throughout the years of a guy getting hurt on that turf and like that's just some bad turf or that whatever the reason is or whatever the reason. I heard it was new turf this year, but turf in general, if you can try to eradicate or get rid of injuries for the most part, you already gonna get hurt at one point doing something. If you can kind of get rid of those small tissues or those injuries that kind of might not take place if we got a slippery or like a better surface. I think it causes.
I think Aaron Rodgers would definitely be the catalyst to get everything changed for sure. Nice. But you had a big night. We was rolling early. When you got your touchdown, you said "ski yee," the sexy red shot, the sexy red touchdown celebration. And she was there too.
That's why I said it. It was pretty good.
Was you inspired by the Hard Knocks or just?
No, I had heard they said that after the game, and I was like this. I knew she was at the game. They had showed her prior to the game, so it was a sexy red touchdown. You know what I'm saying? I kind of view that. I like where you put that one. There we go.
That song go hard too, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't care.
They go hard too, man. You lined up against Sauce. What makes him special?
I think being so young and being so fluid, can run, can make plays on the ball. He's definitely on the right team as well. You know, I think the head coach does a great job. They got a great front 7, 8 guys. You know,
everybody
they rotate and they're just giving it everything they got each and every play. So it kind of works hand in hand with that D line and cornerback position. And he's a good player as well. Jordan Reed, if I'm not mistaken, the 4 is not a bad player. They got a nice little back end, and then you see Whitehead had 3 interceptions. They had a good unit. You know what I'm saying? I still feel like we did enough to win. We just made enough mistakes that hurt us too much. So it just seems like, you one of those you want back, but effort is in the past.
Yeah, it is, man. The football gods, man. Aaron Rodgers got hurt, man. Yeah. September 11th, man. You just got to talk that one up, man. They got another young player too, Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
That touchdown catch was crazy. It was crazy. Trey, he was all over him. And he just happened to grab it, and it fell in his lap. What do you think about that catch?
It was crazy. I'm actually a fan of Garrett Wilson. Like, coming out of college, I think I was one of his comparisons, so I used to watch him. And I was watching him in college, and it's ironic enough, when he was at O State, I was saying that he was the better receiver at O State. And I was like, I like his game. He can run, he can jump, he's obviously had the concentration of having hands of being a receiver. He's just kind of putting it on display in the league. That was another piece of me that kind of felt from when Aaron Rodgers got hurt, because it was going to be interesting to see his second year jump with an established quarterback. Not that anybody can't throw him the ball, but it's a little different when you got a Hall of Fame guy back there slinging that thing around. Yeah, man, for sure, man. And Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson, they go together. And now it's Zach and Garrett Wilson, they have to go together too. And, you and Josh, y'all go together, man. And we seen you on the sideline encouraging Josh. We struggled yesterday. On Monday we had 4 turnovers. But I really love the imagery of you encouraging him on the sidelines. Like, what makes you, what do you say in those moments, and what, like, inspires you? Because it's not just Josh, but you talk to everybody on the sideline. Yeah. It's where, I love football. I take it I take it to heart. You know, you give it everything you got out there, but I also kind of keep it in the mind frame of leaders lead everybody differently. Like some guys you can, like I could come and push you in the back and be like, all right now, Von, I need, you know what I'm saying? Like all positive reinforcement, but it comes from where it's coming from and the delivery of it. So for me, I imagine how hard it is to play quarterback. Like I can only imagine. I can't put myself in the shoes. So when you have mishaps or have stuff like that, it's just a bunch of adversity. I feel like it's still football at the end of the day. Good things will happen, bad things will happen. And try not to put too much pressure on the guy that already got the weight of, you know, the whole team on his back. So for me, I try to get behind him in those situations, tell him I got you. You know what I'm saying? We'll make it work. We'll figure it out. You saw it kind of started turning the corner towards that end of the game, that last drive. You know what I'm saying? We started kind of getting on the same place, started clicking. So for me, I just feel like that's part of my job. Like not only to just, you know, we had talked about doing your 111 with doing your job. My job also is to, you know, help him calm down or, you know what I'm saying, help keep Gabe in the right mindset, keep Jimbo positive, you know what I'm saying? Like that's part of my job as a player on this team, not only being the captain, but somebody that just kind of been around for a little bit. So for me, I just take that real serious, and I want us to win, anything to win. So you never know, those little things, those small little details might put us over the hump or help us get a dub. So I'm always doing it.
100%, man. You know, the last primetime game we had versus the Bengals, it was tough. It was tough between you and Josh. And, you know, on Monday, it was love between you and Josh. You know, over the offseason, there's a lot of rumors, a lot of trade rumors, a lot of chatter. You know, this was a different picture than what we saw, you know, from the last time that we played last season. Do you feel like there's any, you know, misconceptions or anything that happened between you and Josh over the offseason?
Yeah, because, I mean, you go in after a 20-game season, your last image of me and Josh was the last after the fourth down, you know what I'm saying? And they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. So you can garnish whatever you want from that image and create a narrative behind it, and it'll fit. You know what I'm saying? In the offseason, there's no football being played. It's just a lot of commentary, and he or she say. So for me, I feel like the common misconception was that I wanted to leave, but it was like, I never said that, you know what I'm saying? I never came out of my mouth and said that. I never had a conversation with anybody that saying
It was
that.
just a tweet.
And it was just like...
It was just a tweet that said, come and rescue me.
Yeah, like, I'm like, damn, like, I thought we all listened to Drake at one point, you know what I'm saying? Of course, like, I like to, you know, sometimes I do poke the bear at people all the time, but, you know what I'm saying, majority of the time it's Twitter or Instagram, and I say, listen, it's social media, you know what I'm saying? You use it how you want, but we're all grown-ass people, you know what I'm saying? Like, and as an adult, I feel like I'm on this on whatever I say, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like at one point, some people dive too deep into things or take it however they want to take it. Yeah. So for me, I also say I'm not responsible for how people react to things. I'm not responsible for how somebody feels. I'm more so responsible on how I carry it, and I'm just happy to have my quarterback.
Man, you know, like I said, on the sideline, it's always easier. It's easier to play quarterback on the sideline when you're watching. Never been on the sideline like I have, you know, these last couple of games, but actually watching the game and watching the offense and defense equally, like, you know, a lot of wide receivers say I'm always open. Like, I feel like when I was watching you out there, like on every single play that you was out there, it was a point in time within that play that you was open. Like, so it is true. Like when Dick say I'm always open, like he was actually always open. You know, we talked about it on the sideline too. I was like, man, and I was really out there watching. There's a point in time on every single play that you was open. You know what I'm saying?
Probably.
It's tough. It's tough. And then again, it's tough to play quarterback, especially when you got a rush like the Jets had with Huff, number 47 coming, and Quentin Williams. Like, right when he got the ball, like he had to scramble, and, you know, things changed. Like, quarterback is the hardest position in all of sports. So, you know, of course you could just say, hey, just watch Diggs the whole play, and he's gonna be open at some point, but it just don't work.
It sound good.
But hey, I'll vouch for you on that. Like I watched him, and it's a point in time on every single play where it was open. You know, we both team captains. You know, what does that mean to you? You know, after the off season and you know, coming back to the team now, what does that mean to be a captain for you?
I had talked a little bit about it, and like on the media, they had asked me that question. I was like, at this point in my career, it feels a lot better than it did the first time. The first time, you know, like, you want to be a captain. You want to, you know what I'm saying, do everything right. But now with everything that transpired, like, even with the offseason, all the chatter and shit like that, like, going into the season, I felt like I'm gonna put my focus back on everything that it was on before. Like when football was going on, like I'm locked in on football. And you saw like still it was a lot of chatter going into even when I was in camp, and I was like, just damn, like you would feel like a lot of stuff was like I nipped it in the bud or we kind of like figured that out. But I feel like at one point, the comments or anything, it was kind of just to throw a wrench in there or like to throw people off or like, you know what I'm saying, kind of throw over the stuff that we was building. But for me, that was my main focus, to keep the main thing the main thing. You know what I'm saying? And then I feel like a lot of other people, some people that was just doing like saying stuff for clicks or trying to be involved, and I get it, you know what I'm saying? But I hope the best for whatever platform they do have, you see what I'm saying? But I try not to get into it, especially considering the fact that I'm earning the respect of my teammates. I'm earning the respect of my coaches. They know who I am. They know how I am. They know how serious I take the game. So when I was voted the captain again, that's when I said it meant that much more. That people acknowledge that, like, he's serious about his business. I don't know all the chatter and all the he said he's serious about his business.
Those guys that be with you, those are guys
every
that
day.
Be with you every day. For me, being voted a team captain is so dope. To be around those guys each and every day, when you have good days, when you have bad days. You know, you spend more time at the facility around those guys than you do with your own family. Yeah. So to be voted team captain by those guys that really know me, that's really around me, it means a lot to me, man. And you know, obviously we have different leadership styles. I feel like my leadership style is more the psychology part of it. Like I like to really like know guys and then like, you know, really come from a place of love and then like influence them to like be better than what they know that they can be. And everybody has different leadership styles, and I 8 captains, you know, it's a purpose for each and every one. But I would ask you, what's your leadership style?
It depends on the guy. Like that's one thing I would say I kind of learned from like my little brothers. Like I got 2 little brothers, well 3 little brothers, but 2 of them that was really into football. You could love them up differently. Like one of them could take tough love. One of them could take like, you know, me yelling at him or me being like super hard on him. And the other one, you kind of got to have a conversation with, like, tell me what you're thinking. Like, this how I can help you. Like, I just feel like also that kind of goes into parenting as well. Like, all your kids going to be different. Like, everybody not going to be the same. So for me, it kind of the same thing that goes into the leadership stuff. Just all your teammates going to be different. You know what I'm saying? You're coming from a place of love, just like you said. And it's kind of like you really got to learn them a little bit. You got to get to know them, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, you know what I'm saying, you can kind of go for there. But my main thing is leading by example. Like, at the very minimum, if I don't say anything, if you see how I work and see how I approach the game each and every day, you'll, one, at least respect me enough to be like, I got to work at 100%. The very minimum.
So, you know, we're not going to overreact on our loss. It's only week 1. But you went and watched Trayvon play the night before our game. You know, how dope was that? Is it too early to overreact about how good the Cowboys are? 40-0 versus the Giants.
I grew up a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, me too.
Like, we all grew up like this was my team. I try not to put the carriage before the horse, but I'm always having high hopes for the Cowboys deep down inside. Like, as you can see, me and my other little brother, like, we be pulling for Trey harder than we pull anybody. Because we were a fan of the team before he got there, and then you got a family member on there. I don't know, it just takes it another step. So for me, I have a lot of appreciation. And then when I get to see my brother, I don't know, it's like I wish everybody could enjoy or experience having a family member. You know what I'm saying? Not only did you reach your profession, but better yet, your younger sibling did. You know what I'm saying? And he had signed a contract as well. That was something that we were super ecstatic for, proud of him. But then going into that season, I'm like, all right now, like, show me what you got. You know what I'm saying? You worth some money now. And I just poke a little fun at him. So it's definitely something that I would just love. I love doing. He actually came to our game the next day.
I saw him over there. You came to his game, and he came to our game. That was dope, man. You recently told Pat McAfee that you would be a top 5 corner in the league.
Yeah.
What makes you say that?
Because I watched my little brother do it. And I was like this. My brother played receiver his whole life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He went to Alabama. He played corner the last 2 years. Then came in the league and showed me that it's all about having ball skills. Obviously having feet and being able to move. But being an athlete, if you're a true athlete, you know what I'm saying, you could have played I could have played safety. I could have played any of those positions, I feel like. If you can run, break, and you got some competitive edge, I feel like I got a chance, and I feel like I got a knack for the ball. I talked to my little brother, had like a couple picks his first year, and I was like, if you just caught a half of the ones you dropped, you would have had a better year. You ended up grabbing 12 picks, and I was like, oh yeah, it's easy. I need to get involved.
If you a top 5 corner, who would be the other 4?
That's a great question. I say my brother. You know what I'm saying? Probably be a little higher than me. You know what I'm saying? Darius Slay, Pat Surtain, Xavier Howard. I'm trying to figure out if I'm forgetting any names. I hate forgetting guys because Jair Alexander also in there, and a healthy Marshawn Lattimore.
For sure. You saying you could do both? It's a kid in college that's actually doing both and
At a
killing
high
it,
level.
and killing it on both sides of the ball. Travis Hunter, you called him a generational talent. Yeah. You know, what makes him special?
It's not only is he conditioned, you know what I'm saying? I saw him after the game. He had like 120 snaps in the locker room dancing. You know what I'm saying, and me, I probably would have been in the ice tub somewhere. He's just one of those generational talents, something we haven't seen very often. Fluid. He actually supports my cause or my case when I say I could have played both sides of the ball. He's a hell of a receiver, and then he goes on the other side and shows you what he can do at DB. Playing space well, making plays on the ball. You know what I'm saying? He ain't really batting and everything. Now he's trying to catch it. Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like that's part of the battle, especially at DB. If you can make plays on the ball, you're not halfway bad. But he's definitely somebody special and something we need to keep our close eyes on, not only this year, but moving forward.
For sure, man. Deion said that Travis is him. But I thought you was him. Has he earned that title? I think he has earned that title.
I'm gonna give it to him right now before anybody asks or anything. I'm gonna say that's him for sure.
I feel like I can play both sides of the ball too. I feel like I can play tight end.
What are you playing though? What do you?
I feel like I can play tight end and I can play defensive end.
I ain't seen you really catch though.
I can catch. I started out catching. I started out on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, but that was like 30 years ago.
No, but the ball, the hands don't. The hands don't go nowhere. Especially like seeing these guys block and they be trying to block me. I was like, man, no, this is how you gotta block them. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta come off on the ball.
So you think you could block you?
I think I could mix it up. I think I can mix it up. I can mix it up on him. And then the thing is, you have the advantage on the offensive side of the ball too, because I know the play, I know the snap count.
So
on defense, I don't, and I'm still able to jump the snap and do all this stuff.
You know how hard it is to.
I know, but I would mix. I just feel like I can mix it up. I can mix it up on myself.
You've won majority of battles, so where do you think you can block yourself?
I mix it up on them, and then honestly, like I would do like the little things that I know like piss me off.
Like what?
Like grabbing fingers after and trying to twist them, and then walking off, and then like blocking to the whistle, and then pass that.
I'm learning you right.
I would do all the little stuff that I know like that piss me off. But Travis, he plays both sides, and I always like to put my GM hat on. And if I was drafting Travis Hunter, I would actually have him play both sides of the ball. Like I wouldn't take that away from him. Like I would let him, obviously my job would obviously be on the line once I did that. But I just believe in, he's done it all the way up until that point. So I would give him the opportunity to do it in the league too. Whatever he wanted to do, whatever he felt comfortable with, I would let him play offense. I would let him play defense. Champ Bailey actually played defense, and he had wide receiver snaps too. So I would limit him on some parts of it, but I would let him figure out, which one that he wanted to do, and then as he got older, then he could pick a side.
You know what's crazy? Me paying attention to the game. You watch enough football to know this. Guys like that, like if you let them play both sides of the ball, it's going to be like where you going to draft them. You know what I'm saying? If you're in corner need, if a team's in need of a corner, is a team in need of a receiver, hopefully it's a team in need of both. You know what I'm saying? And he can actually mix it up on both sides. But I think he's a guy that could be a full-time corner and get receiver reps, or be the first full-time receiver that get corner reps, or you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I think.
If I needed a receiver, I would take him. Even if we had cornerbacks, I would still take him and give him opportunity on the other side. Like even if we didn't need corners on the other side, I would still give him that opportunity. Yeah. The challenge would come when he does play both sides and he plays at a high level at both. Yeah. When it's time to pay this guy, like
no. I'm telling you, he's gonna be one of the first people off the board.
When it's time to pay this guy,
probably be the second player off the board if it's not two quarterbacks.
Say if he comes in the league and he does what he does at the college level, he's great at corner, he's a top 5 receiver, and he's a top 5 corner. 4 years later,
the first $300 to $400 million player.
It'd be insane. It'd be insane. I feel like as GM Von, that would be the challenge. Like when it's time to pay him.
What am I paying him like?
Top five corners get paid crazy, and top 5 receivers get paid
even if
crazy.
you're not a top 5 corner. Let's say you're top 10, 15.
They get paid crazy.
Still getting.
He would probably demand like double that
I
money.
wanted the receiver in the corner
because I played both.
Damn.
It's crazy, man. Let's play a game, man.
All right, here we go. Let's go.
I'm gonna give you a fellow wide receiver, and you'll tell me how you will cover him.
I bet.
This is
I got
DB.
it.
This is
I'm
DB
let
Steph.
me put my corner hat on. You know what I'm saying?
And we're going against Gabe Davis. How would you guard him?
Fuck. Off coverage. I'm playing inside out. And I'm being as physical as I can at the top because he's big.
Yeah, he is physical too.
People don't even understand how physical Gabe is, and he's
too.
a big body, big country body. So.
He's lifter of the year.
See,
every year that he's been with the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
What about Jamar Chase?
I don't know. Like Jamar, you see, like thicker guy. Jamar's really built like a little mini, like running back, strong. You know what I'm saying? You got them LSU roots, so. I don't know, man. I just got to play bump the whole time. I'm bumping run the whole time. You know what I'm saying? That's your best chance.
Yeah.
And even then, you probably don't got that good of a chance.
Yeah. Justin Jefferson, another LSU guy.
Shit. Bump and run, and I might need some help, actually. We're gonna actually have me some help over the top. I'm going to be as aggressive as I can at the point of contact.
What about Tyreek?
Listen, you know when we say we need some help?
Yeah.
I'm going to actually need it this time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, stay all the way over the top, and we still might need an extra guy.
I mean, boy, you might not need some. You said you could beat him in a 100-yard dash. You say y'all just as fast?
Yeah. We were saying, I was saying that, but that wasn't an accurate statement. You must not have seen him the other day running around.
Oh, yeah, the other day, man, it was crazy, man. He had 11 receptions, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns in a game on Sunday to pop it off, man.
Running real fast.
It was crazy, man.
He looks impressive.
What about Garrett Wilson?
He's young. So, I mean, I would actually try to just mix it up with him a little bit, like play outside, play inside, switch up my leverage a lot. You know what I'm saying? Try to give him something different each time just because he's shifty, like real shifty. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not on your P's and Q's, he might drop you off.
Yeah. So, we talked about me blocking myself.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Steph guarding Steph. How would you guard yourself?
You can. You can send help. You can bump. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I see so many different DBs and so many people have sat in front of me that my game is a game of its own. Like, I try to be consistently inconsistent. I try to make plays on the ball. I'm strong at the point of contact. And I'm going to give you something different every time. And I'm playing with a little bit of oomph. I'm playing with a little bit of, like, if I caught
you
the
versus you, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy
like,
to see, man.
Somebody can't win. It's probably not the DB.
Okay, let's reverse the roles and let's say Trayvon played receiver.
Yeah, he wouldn't catch a ball on me.
How would you guard?
You're going to tell you the same thing. I wouldn't catch a ball. He wouldn't catch a ball on me. And I feel like, ironically enough, at the end of the year, it's going to be a cold day in Buffalo, but shit going to be warm for me. I'm going to be like, I told him, you better have your hamstrings ready because I'm going to be running.
So y'all had a wrestling match.
Yeah.
You had a wrestling match, and he beat you in a wrestling match.
Yeah, but that shit's not wrestling. Like, come on, now this ain't WWE.
What was it like? What was it like playing against him in the Pro Bowl?
It was cool. I feel like, I don't know, like the things that I'm experiencing in life right now, very few people ever will get to experience or, you know what I'm saying, even have feelings of like this, like to be at the highest level. And, you know what I'm saying, like, come on now, like who is in the Pro Bowl throwing picks to their little brother, like, you know what I'm saying, on purpose, you know what I'm saying? I was trying to give him a little,
on purpose.
But, you know what I'm saying, just the experience of it and things like that, I feel like my life is extremely blessed, like blessed beyond measure at this point because I'm experiencing stuff that people don't necessarily get to experience, and it's coming from a place of love. Like, when I see him having success, I'm just like this, damn, like, look, think about it, that's my little brother. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Is he your favorite person to train with?
Yeah, because I like, my little brother is so damn talented. Like, I feel like I try to motivate him. I try to push him in each and every way, and I always get on his ass all the time. So yeah.
He recently got the bag.
Yeah. Who
picks up the tab now?
Him. I done picked it up for a long time
many years.
now. Come on now. I've been stomaching the lower paws for a long time, but you know what I'm saying, my man got to take care of me from here on out. You know what I'm saying? I'm like the old man.
For sure, at least for a couple of years, and y'all can team up on some stuff.
Right.
There's been a lot of talk about contracts in the news recently. Joe Burrow just went crazy. What is your take on Joe Burrow becoming the highest paid player in NFL history?
I mean, that quarterback position is definitely one of a kind, like especially if you had success. They deserve all the money that they get, you know what I'm saying? Good, because if it's all good, it always falls on them. If it's all bad, it always falls on them. I don't care what happens in each game. So for me, it's a lot of pressure on the QB, you know what I'm saying? And it's a hard job to have to see him have, you know what I'm saying, a record-breaking contract. It was congrats to him. Like, you saw him in that year they went to the Super Bowl. I feel like he was one of the highest sacked quarterbacks in the league. You know what I'm saying? To be having that production and to still be sticking in there, to be tough, not just mentally but physically, because he was taking some shots. So for me, I mean, I always say the kid deserves the money, especially if they earn it. They hell of a talent. So it's going to be interesting to see what's next, especially that range of quarterbacks making 50. You know what I'm saying? It's usually the next thing that happens is a receiver or the left tackle.
I'm all for, like, the quarterback getting – you should want, like, guys to get as much money as possible, especially the quarterback, because, like you said, then the defensive end gets paid more, then the left tackle gets paid more, then the wide receiver gets paid more. It just goes up and up and up, and the quarterback is the catalyst for that.
Yes.
But we did see Myles Garrett, one of the highest paid defensive ends, and Joe Burrow go at it, and it wasn't nice. We had Myles Garrett doing the basketball crossover. He's just out there playing games.
He out there just hooping.
Literally.
He's just out there hooping, man. And his first step for a big fella is something like a basketball.
He's 290 pounds.
Yeah.
He's 290 pounds.
It's unfair.
Daniel Jones, third highest compensation over the next 2 years. You know, he went crazy as well. And then Nick Bosa, like I said, once the quarterback goes up, everybody else goes up. And Nick Bosa was right there with him. Awesome. And this means for Micah Parsons that he will get paid $40 million a year.
It's looking like a 40 piece. It's looking like a 40 piece.
He'll get paid $40 million a year. Man. I said that last year though.
That's it. That's exceptional, man. Look at that number. That's a big number. You're walking away with a lot of money. I feel like, you know, if you was 5 years younger, you would be right here popping up right now with the 200.
I'm all good, man. I just try to play as long as possible. Man. I don't never look back. Man. I just keep going, man. I'm trying to get as much as I can get, man.
I respect that.
Let's take a look. Let's take a look ahead to week 2. You know, playing the Raiders. You know, the Raiders are the only 1-0 team in the AFC West. What are the keys to bounce back in week 2 for us?
Just staying the course. They got a good back end. Their DC does a great job of mixing it up. Has a Rolodex of coverages that he likes to play. But I feel like just taking what they give us, keeping our foot on their gas, staying in attack mode. You know what I'm saying? Let's not even get in the space of ever comfortable. You know what I'm saying? I want every play, every second to feel like we're applying pressure. And to let that bullshit roll off our back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can't do nothing about it, especially shit that happens in the past. I feel like going forward, that's going to keep driving us. And that'll motivate us to do everything that we want to do. Because I remember a couple years ago, we took a L the season opener. We came in and rung off like 4 or 5 straight. You know what I'm saying? It's possible. You know what I'm saying? But I think the keys to it right now is, you know what I'm saying, hone in on the details for this week, take what they give us. You know what I'm saying? Be that offense that everybody knows that we could be.
100%, man. And, you know, like Josh had a tough game, and I never try to give advice on how to do your job. I just like to be present. I just like to be present. Like I like to be present and support my guy. Like I don't never like to talk about like what happened in the game. I just wanted to know, like, you know, I'm there, like regardless. Like for you, like how do you go about like, you know, boosting Josh's confidence and helping him out with tough situations?
Shit, in the game, I just try to catch as many passes for him, so like he's getting into that rhythm.
You open on every single play.
Hey, I didn't say that, by the way.
I said it. I literally watched it with my own eye.
That's my guy. Like, and my biggest thing is that positive reinforcement. Like when we are in a high pressure, heightened, you know, anxiety, whatever it is. Football is that, you know what I'm saying? So if you can bring a guy down a couple notches in those moments, you know what I'm saying, you just never know how much further you can go as a team. So for me, I just try to give them like, hey, we got this. Like, don't even worry about it, you know what I'm saying? Let's play hard, let's play smart. Like, when they see, like I had seen something like Michael Irvin had said he don't like when I point at my head, like, or something like that, you know, and I'm like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, people garnish, like, things from a game and have their own opinion about X, Y, Z. Like, what are you talking about? I feel like I say that to the quarterback, I say this to the running back, I say this to the receivers, to the O-line. I always say play hard and play smart. And when you see me pointing my head, I say let's play smart. You see what I'm saying? And for the O-line, that's like, let's not be holding. For the receivers, let's stay on size. Let's, you know what I'm saying, get your depth. Just like little stuff like that. So for me, like, I just feel like when I even got that information, I heard that, I was like, what are you talking about?
That's
you know
crazy.
Like,
I never want to be that guy.
Yeah, like, I get it.
When I'm done playing football.
It's 40 years ago when you was running routes. Like,
I never want to
like, I respect the OGs, but I feel like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? Some stuff is worth conversation, and other stuff is like, all right.
Go, man.
All right, old man.
We're going against Jimmy G. You know, I played against Jimmy G when I was in the NFC West for a short period of time. And he's a great quarterback.
Yeah.
He's proven it time and time again, took the team to the Super Bowl. I feel like we just got to apply pressure. That's for any quarterback. Once you can get in their face, once you can, like, get a couple of sacks.
That's right.
You know, once you attack the head, then, you know, the body will crumble, and the quarterbacks are the head. You know, you got Marcus Peters on the other side.
Yeah.
You know, he this is his first time, you know, coming back from knee injury. He's 100%. You excited to line up against Marcus Peters?
Yeah, he's always been one of the better DBs in the league, especially getting his hands on the ball. Hell of a talent. I feel like he's always.
He talks too. Like he talks too. And you talk too.
I played him for some years though. It's like me and him never really got into that kind of thing though. Like we know, like you know me. I like to talk trash a little bit or talk shit with like other players, but it's never really like that in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like it only get on that when somebody else on that. But for the most part, I just like to hoop and that's the shit talking right there. Like if you beat me, you know what I'm saying? Because
sure, that's the only thing that matter right here.
Yeah. All the other shit here today and gone tomorrow.
Before you know, we let you go and we get into these fan questions.
Gotcha.
We have to shout out a Bills fan who baptized his baby.
Okay.
With Labatt's beer.
What?
And a folding table.
All right. Come on.
He actually put the beer. He put the beer across his head like this. Had a little cross. and then he put it across his chest.
Yo, that is crazy.
He said it in the name of Stefon Diggs, Von Miller, Jordan Poyer.
Yes.
Micah Hyde.
By the power vested in me.
No, listen to this.
Now by the power vested in me.
By our Lord and Savior, Josh Allen.
The only team in the NFL in New York, and our Lord and Savior, Josh Allen.
Yo.
He puts him to the table.
I got to give him a huge shout out. He deserves that.
It's Zach Shoot. Shout out my guy, man. Bills Mafia is so crazy, man. Shout out Bills Mafia, man.
Big shout out.
You know, it's super dope, man. And before I let you go, man, we got a couple fan questions as well. It says, if you had to pick a Drake lyric for how you feeling this season, how would it be?
Damn, I wish you would have given me some preparation.
You got so many.
Exactly. Man. Oh, no, I'm going to come back to that one.
Okay, number 2. Who is the Stefon Diggs of the NBA?
Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler?
You know what I'm saying? Jimmy Butler just knows how to get a bucket. You know what I'm saying? He gets 100%. The job done on all fronts.
He's been doing it.
You know what I'm saying? Can do it. He's been doing it, and I respect. He a dog. Like, and then people might say whatever they want to say. I don't know what they say about, but they for sure gonna say he a dog.
And this one for me, it says, "Yo, Von, when is the next haircut coming?" It's the same one. It's the same one. I put another triangle on this side though, but it's the same. It's just the same one. I've been working it for so long. It's the same one, man. You know, man, I appreciate you, man, for coming on the show, man. Like always, man. If you ever need me for anything, man, you know I got you, man. This is a great way to start off the Voncast season 2.
There we go.
You guys keep tuning in to see who we're going to get on next, and it's going to be dope, man. As y'all can tell, we started out with Stefon Diggs, man, so we got to keep going. I don't know if we can top that, but we just got to keep going, man. And y'all tune in next time for our next guest, man, and I appreciate y'all.